As many as 60 bags of rubble were removed in the replacement of the new Victorian kitchen ceiling at Beaulieu's Palace House. To complete the copper cleaning, staff needed 7 days. But now the ancestral home of the Montagu family is enriched by a new attraction, giving people an idea of how the place must have looked like back in the days.
We've only had really one photograph to go on, so the dresser had to be made as a reproduction, but we had half of it in the picture. But other things we had to just use our imagination, and there may be some differences between what is here now and what was originally here, but I think it's right in spirit.
The original kitchen dated back to the 1870s. However, in the early 1950s it was gutted to make way for a motorcycle display. With the revival of the kitchen, it's hoped that people visiting the house will be reminded that it's not just a time capsule.
I inherited the family business from my father almost 2 years ago now, and I had been planning this since before he died. We have had a small kitchen display in the house for some time, but I wanted to return it to its original location, which is here, and have a working Victorian-era kitchen so that visitors could come and really feel where the heart of the house was, where the food came from, and smell the cooking and see how it's made and meet the cook, and that's what this is all about. I certainly, when I go to other houses, love looking at the kitchens. So what I really like is to see them being used, to see the fire going, to see the cook there, and so I hope visitors will get that same sense of enjoyment.
Many items here are original.
Originally this bellboard would probably have been in the corridor because the servants wouldn't have been milling around here waiting for the bells. But this is the original bellboard for the house, and each one of them was connected with a wire, a pull wire, not an electric wire, to different rooms around the house so that servants could be called. And each one has a different tone so that the servants actually didn't need to always look up to see which bell was ringing, because they would learn the sounds. But if they weren't sure, they could look up, and because of this spring, the bell continues to rock for a while after it's been rung. So it gives you an idea of how many rooms there are in the house and how many calls there might be for the servants to come and attend. The biggest pots, my grandmother always told me with great regret, went to the war effort, but she kept the smaller ones, thankfully. And a number of them have M and the Montagu coronet on them, so we know they are original. Also the table here, that is an original table that has always been here. There are still knife marks on the edge, so we can see it's been a kitchen table for many years. The range, however, the original range was taken out in the 1950s, and this is an old one we bought somewhere else and installed, but we think it's similar to what used to be here.
The menu board is written up daily from the kitchen diary of 1889. On Monday, not on the menu though, was viper's broth.
We do have a lot of recipes in the archives. In fact, my mother produced a book, a compilation of all those recipes many years ago, and we're republishing that today. It's called To the Manor Born. And some of the recipes are things that are perhaps more amusing to read about than to actually cook, such as viper's broth.
Okay, what is viper's broth? Just very quickly.
Basically, it's a soup made with snakes.
Nicole Ris for That's TV.